Well, howdy do everyone, and welcome back to the ranch. I'm Dr. Lee, and it is another beautiful day in South Texas. It's cloudy, it's humid, it's misty, a little bit rainy, and the ground is no longer dry. It's wet. Most people would consider that an ugly day, but after the drought we've been through, we've been having some days like this fairly consistently, and this, my friends, to us is a beautiful day. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. You know it means a lot for me when you take a little time out of your busy schedule to stop in here for a visit. Today's video is going to be another strange one, just like most of them are. It kind of falls under the auspices of the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. That was a poem that was written by Robert Burns long time ago. And it had to do with Robert feeling guilty about plowing a field and destroying the home of a little mouse. John Steinbeck later expounded upon the whole idea when he wrote the story of Mice and Men, a story in which two farm workers, very comical farm workers, I might add, got into a little bind when one of them killed the farmer's daughter, and in turn, the other farm worker killed the killer. And I don't mean to be a spoiler in that, but you have had 85 years to read the book, so I'm not going to feel bad about it. But nevertheless, today's video is one where I was trying to do something good and wound up creating a disaster. And basically what I was trying to do, as you've seen in the last few videos, I've got a hog out here on the ranch that has a broken right front leg. And though he looks pretty good in these videos, I've seen him just driving around on my motorcycle or on the four-wheeler, and he's losing weight, he's not looking very healthy, and he's getting where he's having a very difficult time getting up. So honestly, I was going to try to trap him, hence the hog trap back behind me here. And if I didn't trap him, I was hoping to trap one of, or all of, the three young females that I showed you that had been running around with the big male that we have out here named China. And here's a picture of China right here, and here's the three females. And basically, they are getting bigger and bigger and bigger very quickly, and their gestation period is only about 115 days. So if I can already tell they're pregnant grossly, then that means they're probably within 6 weeks, I would guess, of farrowing or having their piglets. And like I told you in the last video, or video before last, I don't recall which, survivor rates in feral hogs is around the number 10, 8 to 12 basically. So if you multiply 10 times 3, that means within 6 weeks I could have 30 new pigs here. So my plan was to trap as many of the moms as I could and have the trapper come by and get them and take them off to wherever they need to go, anywhere but here, and be done with that. Either that or trap the broken leg pig and get him out of his misery. Once again, the greatest laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Well, it went awry for sure. So last Sunday, I came in here and I baited the trap with deer corn. I put probably about 25 pounds of feed in there, and overnight, on Sunday night, it got a few visitors. And here's China coming in here, and also his buddy, the raccoon, around 5:28 in the morning, and their old buddy, the squirrel, came by. I did my drive-by the next morning about 10 o'clock just to make sure that there was corn still in the trap, that the raccoons haven't gotten in and emptied out, and also to make sure there was no pigs in the trap at this time, because you don't want to leave them in there very long. And through the day on Monday, we had infrequent visitors, and you'll notice here that a lot of these videos were made by two different cameras. Down at the bottom on one you'll see the Strasser camera, and on the other one you'll see Moondust camera. Both of these cameras are located in an area of the ranch we call Moondust, back at the back of the ranch where the hogs are most commonly found. Monday night around 11 o'clock, the Strasser camera picked up China lurking. You can see him here back off to the right side of the screen. And he came back around about 8:38, got his head in the trap, and by 8:56, we had the whole enchilada in the trap. And that, my friends, is the very last thing I wanted to see. If you'll remember back about 3 or 4 years ago, the hog population got so bad around here that all of the habitat for the native indigenous species was getting destroyed, and the hogs were just basically taking over, and all the native indigenous animals, they were leaving. And as you well know, this ranch is dedicated as a sanctuary for the indigenous species of animals and plants. So at that time, we decided just to eradicate all the hogs, and we were very, very, very successful, down to 2 little hogs that we found later on the game cameras. A little red hog, a little Duroc, and a little black and white spotted pig, and those are called Poland Chinas, spotted Poland Chinas for the purist. And that's where China came from. So weekly over the last 3 or 4 years, I come pull the SD cards out of all the game cameras, take them home, and I watch China run the ranch. And he has been very, very comical, much more so than any other pig we've ever watched. And sadly and erroneously, I became very endeared to him. I really liked that pig. I enjoyed watching him. Anytime he did something stupid, I always called my wife and said, "Come here and look what China's doing today." But that was a big mistake. So yes, we caught my old buddy China in the hog trap, and bless his heart, that boy did not have a good night. He fought the cage all night long. He chewed on the wire. He banged on the doors. He banged on the top. He tried to dig his way out. He smashed into the back of the cage, but unfortunately nothing would yield. And by dawn, he was pretty much exhausted. So Tuesday after lunch, on my ride through, I noticed I had entrapped my old bud, and I didn't really like what I saw. If you look at his body language, his body posture and all, his ears are erect, his hackles, which is the hair that runs along the top of his spine, is standing straight up. And he was digging at the ground, and his tail, instead of being pointed down and wagging side to side like they normally are, is very stiff and erect, commonly standing straight up too. Those are all signs that that pig is angry. Very aggressive characteristics. So seeing that it was my old buddy China trapped in here, what I decided to do was go back to the house, get my pickup, come back out here, drive beside the trap, and then just reach down, pull the wire, opening the gate, hook it to where it wouldn't close, and then drive away and leave it, and he could get out on his own. And that was the plan. Again, the greatest plans of mice and men, right? Got back to the house, and I'd forgotten that I had a big trailer hooked up to my pickup. So I thought, okay, well, so my plan B was I'd just come back out here on my motorcycle again, park over there, and then I'd come over here and open the gate and then run back over there and wait until he left, and then I'd reset the trap. And I thought, how can that go wrong, right? How could that possibly fail? And I'll tell you this right off the bat, I have trapped scores of hogs over the 33 years I've been out here in this trap, or one similar to it, and never have I not seen a hog, when you open the door, they run straight out, or they come out and they turn and they run away from you. Now granted, I was going to be right over there, so I knew that if he knew where I was, he would either run straight out or he would run over there. Again, the greatest plans of mice and men, trying to predict the behavior of wild animals. That didn't work out very well. So anyway, on my way out the door to come back out here, my wife said, "Well, honey, why don't you take a gun?" And I said, "Oh, it's just China." And then I thought for a minute, and I remembered the aggressive posture, the hackles, and all of that, and I thought, okay, I will, just in case. And you can tell by the time I got back out here, his signs of aggression were even more increased. Hackles up, ears up, tail up, And this time he was also doing a little quivering thing and just jetting out little blast of urine every now and then, which is an extreme sign of aggression in hogs. And one of the biggest problems that I didn't realize is that wire hooked onto the corner there that I used to pull the gate up, open the gate. He chewed it off. It was laying in there. There was just a little bit of it sticking out. So I was able to come over here. It was a little bit intimidating. Come over here and yank that thing out and then reattach it with him still in the trap. So I got my blood pressure up just a tad, I am sure. So after a few failed attempts, I finally got that wire hooked onto the cage and got the cage door pulled open. As you can see, look at it closely, you'll see the closest door to us is now open. Interestingly enough, but China doesn't realize it. And that's not too unusual. I've seen hogs hang around in there 10 or 15 minutes before they finally realized that they were free. So at this point, with the gate open and China pretty irritated, I put some distance between me and him. Actually put a Honda between us too. So as I sat there on the other side of my motorcycle, shotgun in hand, hoping that China would realize the gate is open and run straight out or run that way, he just locked down and we got into a staring contest which lasted about 5 minutes, or it seemed like it did. I won't bore you with that video. And then of all things, he did this. So with China laying down, I came back to the cage, tried to get him to stand up, tried to shoo him out the door. I even came back over to the front of the door and whistled at him and hollered at him, tried to come out. And in retrospect, that was a stupid mistake. And I went back and then I saw him getting extremely aggressive looking. So I hurried back over behind the motorcycle. And about that time, he decided it was time to come out of the cage. And coming out of the trap, he took a hard right. His tail was up, his hackles were up, his ears were up, and he ran straight toward me. And I shot and killed my old buddy 10 feet from where I was standing. Stupid me. That's all my mistake. Greatest plans of mice and men frequently go awry, and that one did. The only pig that I wanted to keep alive on the ranch I had just killed. And now I still have 3 pregnant sows and 1 pig with a broken leg out here to take care of. So things can go from bad to worse sometimes in a heartbeat. Just like John Steinbeck and Robert Burns talked about, my great plans blew up in my face. But lesson learned, I didn't get hurt. I'm very, very fortunate there. One lesson that I did learn that I already knew is you should never try to outguess a wild animal, regardless of how tame you think they are. You know, I watched him every night and I got to really liking him, but he didn't get to really liking me. So, well folks, that's it from out here on the ranch today. I told you it's going to be a weird video and it lived up to every bit of that. Anyway, thank you so much for taking time out of your precious days to come and spend a little time with me. I love your visits. I love the comments that you leave down in the comments section. So if there's anything on your mind or on your heart, you know what to do. God bless you all. Thanks for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you next time. And I want you to always remember I love you. Bye-bye now. So what you doing there, Al?
Neutering a dog, Dad.
All right. Who's going to learn you?
That's a mistake.